Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. I was worried there it wasn't gonna go green, but it went green. Green means good. I'm looking at the OBS dashboard. It's been so long since I've been on here, so I'm making sure all systems are go. Looks like my volume is working because the thing is going up and down. The other thing's solidly green. Yeah. So hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Sephra. This is Sephra's World. This is my Twitch channel. And yeah, let's just sit and shoot the breeze. Whoever wants to come by and hang out, I'd love to hang out. And in the meantime, we have just started a Mercury retrograde. Yes, we have. Mercury is retrograde. So before I get into a big long thing about that, I'm just going to wait for a few minutes because I know there's a commercial that plays and all of that. And so I want to make sure my information gets out properly. So I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Oh, yes, I am having a sip of coffee. Slurping on my coffee. Maybe I should get one of those ASMR microphones and I can just slurp coffee for you all day. Love to slurp the coffee. Mhm. Coffee is one of the fuels that drives me. Though, there have been times in my life where I couldn't drink coffee, like two pregnancies and various ulcer and gallbladder issues over the years. But now I'm back to having coffee. I just can't drink too much of it. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I got a dog walking booking. That's good. Sometimes I walk dogs. So I haven't been on because one thing after another, a huge part of it, I'm just putting my thing on, just sharing my thing while we're sitting here waiting for people to show up. Um, Part of my problem was the internet itself. It was, oh man, I have to go through all this again. Oh, I did it. Okay. Um, Sorry, I just want to share things so that people know I'm here. Tweet. I am here on Twitch. Okay. Wow, it suddenly got super noisy in the hall. Super noisy, hardly a convenience. Do you guys ever watch the Screen Rant? Uh, Pitch sessions, they're hilarious. All right, so I did the tweet. Oh, I put it on Facebook too. Why not? Facebook, here we go. Share. Okay. It's still solidly green, so this is good. Oh, hey, hi, Bearfist. How are you? I was just sharing the thing here. Now I just got to put the chat room on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, hi. I'm doing really well. I haven't been online, as we know, for a couple weeks. We've been having terrible storms here in Toronto. Not even the storms, but again, today we're having another lovely -20 day. So sometimes the internet doesn't work so well. And my internet was terrible. I couldn't even like check my email, let alone come on Twitch for a few weeks there, and then also had a couple of gigs where I was working at noon hours, and then the day goes on. Oh yeah, I'll go on later in the day, and then I never do because you know how it is. What do I do with my tarot cards? Oh, they're right in front of me. Okay, so yeah, I'll pull a tarot card for you, Barefists, and how are you doing? Okay, I haven't been here, so you haven't. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well. Great. Yeah, I often like when I can't make it. Like for me right now, it's noon, and sometimes I think when I can't make it at noon, I should do it at night. But then I start watching stupid TV shows and stuff, and I'm like, I'd like to do the thing where I watch TV with the viewers, but I'm not sure how copyright works, and I don't want to get shut down for doing things I shouldn't. I'm not really aware of how all the rules work yet. So, yeah, I have a bit of a. I'm glad you're doing well. Okay, let me pull your card of the day. Let's see what you got. Yes, I have. I have done it at night. Yeah, but I have to get my act together. Yeah, no, even yesterday, I know. Part of my problem though is I'm worried about nighttime sometimes because I know people start drinking and stuff, and as a tarot reader, I get harassed even at noon, and then at night I'm worried about the harassment more than anything. But I should probably just put on my big girl pants and go on at night because I know I'd get a lot more people at night for sure because people are more relaxed and would like a tarot reading. They have to think about it. But like I said, I was thinking about it the last couple of weeks. I should just go on at midnight. But like I said, my internet's all screwed up, and it seems okay now because our weather's calming down. We had ice storms and stuff last week, and you couldn't even walk down the street without breaking a hip. And but anyways, okay, let's pull a card for you. Enough of this negative stuff. Okay, good cards, good cards. Let's see what we got. Okay. Oh, I'm totally ready for spring. Me too. Five of Wands is your message of the day, and that's actually a good springtime card. As you probably maybe you don't remember or know, I've been drawing my own tarot cards so I can actually show something when I pull a card because I drew these ugly things. So Five of Wands, you can Google that, but it's a very good springtime card. Because it's wands, and the wands do represent spring and Aries, and although I think Five of Wands two, three, four, five, six, yeah, the Five of Wands might represent Leo. But anyways, the Five of Wands itself is about helping people work as a team. So whatever's happening in your life, you're in charge of making sure some people get their acts together and get focused. Hi, Doug James. Yep, I'm back. I'm just telling Bearfists about the Five of Wands. Now, what's fun about the Five of Wands is, well, it's not fun at all. It's one of those chaos cards, but it's also a temporary situation card. We are in a Mercury retrograde right now, which means information can get misunderstood and stuff like that. So, basically, the Five of Wands, like I was saying, Bearfist, is you for some reason you have to get people to work as a team. Whether you're a manager at a job and you got to get your department focused, or whether you're a parent and the kids got it, whatever's happening, you're in charge and you got to get everyone pulled together. And so, even though it may, the actual picture on the card in the Rider Waite deck is actually people pulling together to build a barn. It's about the old barn building stuff. Oh yeah, see it going off the rails, and you gotta pull them back. Even if you're not the boss, for some reason, when the Five of Wands comes up, you're the one in charge of making sure it all goes down. Whether you have to go to a boss or whether you're just a stronger personality or able to see the situation better for the rest of the gang, that you can say, "Hey, dudes, it's okay. Let's get this thing focused." And all that sort of thing. So it's not a terrible card. It's just reflecting what you already know. Everybody's going off the rails. So yeah, and so like I said, with the Five of Wands, it's a temporary card. So this isn't your life forever. It's just so it's just be patient and try to catch some flies with honey instead of vinegar and all that wonderful stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and then Doug James, hi. Yeah, I've been off. God, it's been almost a month, I guess. Oh, you're very welcome, Bearfist. You're very, very welcome, and thanks for coming by. Maybe I will try to come on later at night. You're right. I should play around with my times more, and maybe I will if the weather is going to behave, which means my internet will stabilize, which means I can plan a life. But like I said too, I actually had some work at lunchtime, so yeah, I really should go on at other times if I can't get here for lunch. But well, lunchtime here in Toronto for you guys, it's whatever. Okay, Doug James. Yeah, so I don't know how much you saw with me telling Bearfist, but I just with the storms and stuff, like my internet wasn't working at all some days. Even last night, it was in and out. Same with my cable TV, because of all the storms and the ice and all the things. Today it's like minus 20 or something. I haven't been out. I was going to go outside this morning, but now I'm not. I'm here. That's part of it too, trying to fit everything into a day. I'm almost finished the book. That was part of it too. Is I'm trying to get this book finished, and I'm a writer, right? And it's overdue, and I'm trying to focus in on that and. Just all the things, And then 3 days this week I worked up at the college as a patient actor, and I was there like all till like 2 or 3 every day, so I wasn't here for lunch, all that stuff. So yeah, okay, Doug James, let's pull a card for you. Let's see what's happening. Oh, you got the devil. Dun dun dun. The devil. My fancy devil card that I drew. So, are you stuck in a rut? What's been going on, Dung James? Yeah, bare fist. Yikes is right. Yeah. I also say yikes because I know Dung James is kind of playing with altered realities and stuff. Ah, you're sick. Okay. That makes sense then. It's like saying, oh, you going places you shouldn't, or what's happening. Yeah, the devil would definitely show up if you're sick. 38 degrees Celsius. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. That's, what's normal? 37? I forget. I'm really bad about taking my temperature. I never take it. I think it's 36.2 or 36. I can't remember now. I have a thermometer over it. I can't quite reach it though. Do I? No, it's not over there. Somewhere else. 36.5. Yeah, yeah. I used to remember better when the kids were little and I was always taking their temperatures, but I just knew that if it hit 37, we're in trouble. you know. So yeah, yeah. So what do you have? Like a flu or just a normal winter crap? It's just like so and that's the other yeah, I had a sore throat for about 5 days. I was around people with strep throat, so I don't think I actually got strep throat. That was here in Toronto. It's going around like wildfire, this strep throat. So also I didn't come on because my throat hurt, and it still hurts a little bit, but if I only talk for about an hour, I should be okay. Um, 38 degrees is a fever. Yes, absolutely. I'm positive 38 is a fever. Like I said, all my things are on the other side of the room, and one of these days I'm gonna get like just a microphone that isn't. I'm not attached to the computer. Then when things like this happen, I can run and get things that are just beyond my reach. It's like I could see it. If only I could like do the Kylo Ren mind thing. I could look at the little thermometer because it's marked on it where it's the fevers and stuff. I didn't even take my own temperature when yeah, I just woke up really hot and crappy on Saturday, like really hot. I'm kind of hot now, but I should open the window because I'm all boxed in with like put the screen up, then all of a sudden it gets over too hot. But yeah, so the devil certainly is reflecting your the illness. Also, the devil is just stuck in the rut, as you know, like just feeling trapped, or you know, for those that might be watching. Yeah, ask a fun question, sure. Oh, now it's minus 20 out, so even though I have to close the window again because the it's not that much of a breeze, but it's like minus 20 breeze, even though I'm getting kind of hot. But I can't turn that light off because then I'll be sitting here in darkness and you won't see me. And if anyone's just joining us, we're just hanging out again as usual and doing tarot readings. If you say hello in the chat, I'll pull a card for you and give you your message of the day. And if you don't want a tarot reading, you don't have to have one. If you want to talk about something else, you can talk about Mercury retrograde or Beltane or the time change or Star Wars. Gotta admit, sitting in darkness doing tarot readings would look pretty cool. Yeah, well, I think by the time you guys actually see me, it is darker anyways, because to me, looking at the OBS naked without it going through all the feeds, like I'm really bright and shiny, but then when I look at the recordings, I'm like, wow, it looks like I'm sitting in the dark. Anyways. So yeah, I didn't even put the stars up today because I've noticed sometimes they make me look yellow, and like you, I haven't been feeling well, and I'm probably already pale and yucky looking. I should turn the sound off on my phone, I guess. See, it's been so long since I've done this, I don't even remember what I'm supposed to do about anything. Okay, yes, there's my dog walking booking. That's good. Where's my sound? Okay, I'll turn the sound off. So I don't even know if you guys hear that sound because that's the other reason why I wear the microphone so you don't hear, the dog barking down the hall and then the kid screaming as he comes home for lunch and then the truck's out front. All sorts of things happen when you live in a co-op, right? Um, and like I said, anyone who's watching, especially if you haven't been here before and don't understand how it works, I doing tarot card readings if you want a message of the day, and all you have to do is say hello in the little chat, and I will read a message for you. Okay, so I got that put over there. Okay, get the cards again. So, okay. The kid's screaming. You did hear the phone. Yeah, because it's right there. Yeah, that's great. Okay, how Laminar react to your occult work? Okay. Yeah, at least I didn't have the phone notification. Wasn't any copyright songs, which means my sons haven't called me. They know. Well, the one son knows. He's doing really well on Twitch. My younger son, he has a channel. He's cousin Catnip, and currently he's been doing a lot of Mario Maker stuff. But sometimes he does live tap dancing as well. But he's a huge gamer, and he's the one that got me into twitching. So you guys should go check him out, cousin Catnip. So he may be peeking in. I don't know. Okay, so let's pull a card for how M and R react to your occult work. We got Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. That's really, really good card. Um, so those of you that are, because I see more people peeking in, how the tarot card readings work is all you have to do is say hello in the chat, and you can ask a question, but you don't have to. You say hello, I'll just pull a card for you because I know it's a public space, and you may have something on your mind you don't want to share. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And then you'll see I have these cards, so I've just pulled the Queen of Cups, which I'm about to explain. But I hand drawn, I drew these cards, and I'm not an artist. I don't pretend to be one, but I got tired of like pulling cards for you guys, and then I don't show them because I don't have the copyright permission. So I've created these cards, and then you can go and Google the card for yourself if you like. And I often think of the Rider Waite deck, RIDER-WAITE, when I'm pulling the cards. So with the Queen of Cups in the Rider Waite deck, it's a woman sitting on a throne, and she's holding the Holy Grail. So she's holding the knowledge. And then on her throne, is a lot of little babies carved in, or maybe they're real. To me, they look like they're carved into the throne, but it's how you what it means to you. So it often represents a warm, nurturing person. The water signs, the Queen of Cups represent the water signs, and the water signs and the cups represent artistic ideas, knowledge, emotion. If people are asking questions about love, you want to see the cup cards. So with the question being, now it's fallen off the screen here, but I have it on my phone. Um, so the actual question being how M and R will react to the occult work, and Dung James has been coming here for a very long time, and so I know what he's talking about, whereas you guys may not, but that doesn't matter. So with regard to that, it's a good card because with the cups, the Holy Grail representing the ancient knowledge or occult knowledge, secret knowledge, arcane knowledge, however you want to put it. So they're waiting. They're waiting to share the knowledge, and they their reaction is good. So it's not like the devil you got a minute ago. So how will M and Art react to your occult work? So yeah, they're gonna they see it, they're taking it in, they're accessing the information, and will probably incorporate it into their own information because it's going to build on their occult work as well. It's a two-way street. What's happening on the other planes with you. For those that don't really know, Doug James has been what I call astral projection, but he calls it something else. But to me, that's how I wrap my head around what you're doing. um, and so, yeah, it's good. And then, and since it's the queen and it's the motherly queen, the nurturing queen, they're probably take you under their wing. So it's not going to be like, oh my God, you're learning things, get out. It's more like, yeah, we're going to embrace the idea of this, and the babies will be representing new ideas and new people you're going to meet, new beginnings, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'd say it's very auspicious, the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a lovely card. There are things about the Queen of Cups that aren't so nice. Every card has, a bazillion, well, 78 meanings, positive and negative. And so, the negative aspects of the Queen of Cups card are things like selfishness and um, greed. You think of some water signs, how usually they're generous, caring, compassionate, very intuitive. Water sign people, cup people are super intuitive people. They can read your minds. I can't read your mind, but they can. They can read my mind. So when you're that empathetic and compassionate, then it also comes with the idea of jealousy and too much emotions. So there are negative things about the Queen of Cups you may want to be careful about, which would be the jealousy and the selfishness that they may take your ideas and hoard them, so just be aware of these ideas. But for the most part, I felt like it was a really positive card, a really positive, I feel positive with it as opposed to the negative aspects of it. Okay. And then, since I haven't been on for a while, we haven't really done our what's happening this month. Uh, it's been, yeah, we went into Mercury retrograde on the 5th. Yeah. We had Mardi Gras on Tuesday and Mercury retrograde on Tuesday, and the new moon in Pisces last night, well, yesterday morning at 11:04 a.m. Eastern Time. And then spring is coming any minute on the 20th. So we're pretty excited about that. And then I'll just go on. The full moon is, oh yeah, March. Is that still March 20th? Yeah, full moon on March the 20th, which is the spring equinox. And it's called the storm moon and will be in Aries by then. But right now we're still in Pisces. Pisces being a water sign, which relates to the Queen of Cups. So everyone's emotions are probably pretty high right now. And so, I mentioned the Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde Happens 3 times a year, and a lot of you probably already know about it because I talk about it endlessly for the 10 years I've been on YouTube. I have several Mercury retrograde YouTube videos on my channel, and then on my monthly horoscopes. If you haven't checked them yet, go over to my YouTube channel. I'm Sephra over there, no 666, just Sephra at Sephra. Um, Over on YouTube, and the monthly horoscopes went up in the first, and so you'll see there's one video that tells all the things like I just told you now, with the various things that are going to happen this month, and then each sign has their own little video is a playlist, right? So you can find your own sign, and they're really short. The overview video is about 10 minutes, because don't shut up, but I talk too much. But then I try to keep the little individual signs short for the month, so they're all about 2 or 3 minutes, so that won't take a lot of your time to just quickly get a sense of what's in store for your sign this month. But yeah, so Mercury retrograde. Yikes. Yeah. So far, knock wood. Oh, I have wood here. Wood over here. So far, my personal Mercury retrograde seems okay, I think. I mean, hey, I couldn't get online for a couple weeks before Mercury went retrograde, but here I am after the retrograde. Well, it's just kind of happening now because it started Tuesday. So Mercury is a planet of communication in a couple of the signs. I believe it's Gemini and I think Virgo. Anyways, yeah, we'll be okay because we go through three a year. We go through three of these a year. We've all survived this long. I seem to recall my last one because I usually don't think about these things. Even though I do astrology and tarot cards, I'm one of these people that I came to reading tarot cards with the idea of it's all bullshit, right? So, and I've been studying astrology since I was a little kid because I wanted to see what I always was curious about it. So that's been in my bones my whole life, and I still am not positive. I know with actual daily horoscopes and stuff like that, unless you have the personal chart, it's really hard. Uh, I do them obviously, but for specific people, like there's so much going on in your personal chart that sometimes the horoscope for your sign may feel like it's not right or whatever. Then, of course, like other people say, oh, you can bend the horoscope to be whatever you want it to be, whatever. Um, but so when it comes to Mercury retrograde, I lived, like 35 years without even knowing that there was such a thing. So I didn't stress out about it. And then once I learned about it in my tarot classes and stuff, and then my teacher who is a Scorpio, a water sign, she's a very negative person, and so we were always very aware when Mercury was coming, and anytime anything went wrong, the blame went on Mercury, right? So what do we blame Mercury for in a Mercury retrograde? Some of you know, some of you don't. Some of you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Some of you know it probably went off to do something else because you're sick of hearing about it. But so when Mercury goes retrograde, obviously the planet doesn't start shooting backwards. I mean, it's just kind of hanging there or whatever. But it just it's our way of kind of noticing that some stuff isn't going to go well. You blame the retrograde for your sickness. Yep. Go ahead. You blame it. You blame it. Mercury's used to all of us blaming it for everything. So, yeah, so with Mercury, it can mean communication being screwed up, right? Is kind of the simple way to put it. And so the sickness stopped you from working on your goals and projects. Yeah, so it stopped your communication. Or like me with the sore throat, and it's getting a little worse. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to talk. Um, but yeah, so Mercury retrograde is about miscommunications or being stopped from moving forward of things you're trying to do, as you were just saying. And what can see, I'm losing my mind because I got Mercury retrograde. What just happened to my? That's weird. I can make this bigger because I guess it was small from when I had the two cameras going, or Maybe I rearranged things. I don't know what's there. How's that? Why was I so tiny? I see now it's all blurrier, right? Mercury gonna start the next recession. Yeah, man. Uh, I don't know what's happening. I'm in Canada. But I don't think you guys are in the States. I think you guys are overseas. It's like it doesn't matter where we are in the world right now, something bad's happening. Like I know, like here in Toronto, we have huge housing crisis. There's no jobs. Like you're in the States. Okay, that's right. Yeah, and you're in trouble there for sure. I just had CNN on before I came on. I've been trying not to watch CNN a lot lately because it just depresses me. And no, that doesn't mean I'm a far lefty and all that crap. It's just, and sometimes I think we get a different one up here than you guys get, because I see people complaining about things on CNN, and I'm like, I didn't even hear about that. But yeah, so they're talking about how yeah, just everything's difficult. It doesn't matter, like with the states, it doesn't matter whether you're for or against your president because every president, people are for or against, right? So it doesn't really matter. Like, when Obama was president, I liked Obama, but a lot of people hated Obama and they were mocking him and doing bad shit to him too. But I think Trump's a little more sensitive. He's a Gemini. He's ruled by Mercury. We'll see what happens during this Mercury retrograde for him. I used to love The Apprentice and all that, and I was a little surprised when he actually got elected. I thought it was kind of a joke. I thought I thought he ran as kind of a joke just to kind of, because he didn't think he'd win, and so he knew Hillary would kind of thing. But yeah. Trump is the best mascot. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He does. He really does, the entrepreneur, the businessman, the TV celebrity. Um, you see him in Home Alone, and I still remember when he was running for president, and he was on Saturday Night Live. And he did a little skit to Hotline Bling from Drake. And every time I hear that song, I still think of Trump doing the gotta do the Hotline Bling. And I think of Trump doing the Hotline Bling. And then I see him on TV doing his things. And I think all I hear is Hotline Bling in my head still. And of course, Drake's from our part of town. Drake's from Toronto. Actually, Drake went to the same high school as my sons did, except he's a lot older than my son, so they weren't there at the same time. But the best mascot reverse. Yeah, I don't want to get political on my channel. 'Cause I have, but certainly people can. I would say yes, he's a good mascot for the USA. And I'm American. Yeah, I was born in New Orleans, so I do vote American, so I feel like I can say some stuff. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the next couple years all shakes out. I suspect he's gonna win again. Not that I want that, I admit I voted for Hillary. I thought it'd be really cool to have the first female president. And I did like, I followed her whole life because, I'm old. And I really wanted her to be president. But yeah, so we'll see what Trump's gonna do, but I just wish he wouldn't tweet so much about things like I guess where I was going was like because we're talking about communication. I wish he wouldn't tweet so much about things like being angry about Saturday Night Live skits and stuff because they've been spoofing everyone all along. Like that, no one escapes, comedians and satire. And then when you are such a big personality like Trump, sometimes it is like shooting fish in a barrel, and maybe the comedians should try harder now because after 3 years of watching American politic comedians, it's boring now for those of us that aren't actually living in it. But he's just got to turn the channel when that stuff happens because that's comedy has always poked at politicians, and I think he should, when he's tweeting about this, it just shows people that don't like him that he's not I think they feel like he's not taking his role seriously if he's watching, getting upset about comedies, yet there's all this real life serious stuff going on, and maybe he should be doing that. And then when he's not president anymore, then he can get back to screaming about birth certificates and but you know what, I guess while I'm babbling and no one's stopping me, um, one thing I thought when he got was president, because the whole reason I thought in my head that he wasn't really serious about being president is because he was trying to launch his own entertainment channel like Oprah did, and the Disney Channel and all this. Like he was in the process of almost about to release this mega corporation of media and TV shows and stuff. And so, that's one of the main reasons I didn't really think he was serious. And so the fact that he got in, much like how we have Ford here in Ontario, Rob Ford has now our premier, and we all call him the mini Trump because he's a very much the same personality, same ethics, same politics, conservative and all that, at trying to put religion in with uh, all that. And so we're getting a taste of that here in Ontario. He's cutting healthcare, cutting. Oh, yeah. Anyways, okay, let's talk about Mercury retrograde. I'm getting depressed. So Mercury retrograde is miscommunications and people misunderstanding you. So if you're having a situation over the next few days or next couple weeks, well, until March 28th, I said, yeah, March 28th, from March 5th to March 28th, Mercury is retrograde, and cut people some slack. Cut yourself some slack, because there may be, depending on how Mercury affects you, it may be hell for the next couple weeks. There may be, there might be arguments and misunderstandings. If you're no, you won't be sick until the 28th, unless, you'll be in the hospital by then. um, but it, like if you're applying for a job or looking for work, things like that, I just really double, triple check that you're doing what you think you're doing. Like if you're signing a contract, I have the best example of something that happened to me. Not the best example, but it's an example. Last November, like a few months ago in November, October, November-ish. I'm a writer, and most of my income comes from writing and editing, and then I do tarot readings as well. But so I was on, I'm on these various platforms that writers get little freelance gigs on now and again, and so I was invited into writing all these. What do you call them? Like when you Google shit and you're like, I had to write like 50 things about toilet paper, 50 things that, it's like for Walmart or someone. It wasn't Walmart, but it was like that. Like, you knew it was going on a website, and so you had to write original copy for these products. And so you had 50 toilet papers, 50 sparkling waters, 50, I wrote hundreds of these goddamn things, and the pay was really bad, but the idea was you'd make it up in volume, so I wrote like 300 a week for $3 each or whatever. And so this was a couple of weeks gig. And then so there's a whole team of us doing it. It wasn't just me. There's a team of us doing this project. And then after, we're killing ourselves, hitting these crazy deadlines, getting horribly underpaid. And then the client decides at the end of it all, he's not taking anyone's work. And so even though we had money showing in our accounts for all the work we had done, it all disappeared one day. And so just before Christmas, I thought, I had a couple of grand, and then I had nothing. And so it was funny because when I got that project, Mercury had just gone retrograde. And I remember thinking, oh, I wonder if this is all going to get screwed up because we're in Mercury retrograde. But, well, no, bare fists. It's just general, it's just copywriting. I've been doing copywriting for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. I guess now it might be called virtual assistant work, but it's just basic writer copywriting. I've done this, I've written about the leg lamps, I've written about exercise equipment, I've written about so much stuff in my years of as a professional writer. And I don't really enjoy, I don't think anyone enjoys writing copy. But it's if your English is your first language and you're writing in English, it's not that hard. It's just tedious and boring as hell. And you have to be very specific with how you capitalize things and how you write the numbers and all that kind of crap. And yeah, and for whatever reason, we went on and on with these. Um, we wrote these things and the dude's getting them as we're writing them, and yet then he suddenly goes, don't want it. And yeah, it was hell. So that's a very good example of Mercury. Like the minute Mercury went direct, he fired us all. And that's part of the problem with, that's an example of Mercury retrograde. I'm not going to say that's part of the problem with being a writer, because these things happen in all jobs. You do a contract, you may or may not get paid. It's always a crapshoot, and but I'm just not used to like having a couple $1,000s of work, just like, nope, you're done, and you don't get paid, and you don't even get we're canceling this project fee. Nothing. We got nothing. And I turned down all kinds of other work during that time. I probably didn't even do my Twitch during that time. And so yeah, it's pretty mad. And then here we are before Christmas turning down other work, and when am I getting my kids for Christmas? I had to borrow money, like it was not good. So yeah, and then other things that happened during Mercury retrograde. Yeah, and with that, there's nothing you can do. You take the job or you don't. You're not going to sit there going, "Oh, Mercury's retrograde, so I shouldn't take this job because it's going to screw up." You don't know. You don't know. You got to just live your life. No, you can't sue. They protect their asses. Yeah, no one can sue. And a similar thing had happened earlier in the year, except we hadn't had done thousands of dollars worth of work. We'd only done a little bit of work. And again, the client didn't like our team and we all got fired. And I think this is part of the problem now in the modern times, with this type of work, because there's so many people doing it. And they probably had hundreds of writers doing this, and then they just picked the ones that were the cheapest. They probably went to another, some of the countries where they can pay people 50 cents, and got it all done there. You know what I mean? About back in the day when because this project that I did, um, that this all happened with, we got $3 per listing. Yet I used to work for a company about 15 years ago, like it was a freelance company online. Um, and they did these same projects where we'd write for catalogs, that same exact same work, which is why I was surprised we all got fired, because I've done this work before and that exact kind of project before. And we used to get paid $20 a listing, 15 years ago, for the exact same work. Now and we got paid 3 for this one, and plus you have to give a cut to the platform that hired you and all that. And so they're getting it for $1 somewhere else. And like, how are you supposed to live on that? But you see, people don't think ahead when it comes to contract work, especially writers and editors, tarot readers, whatever. Everyone's always undercutting, so you don't get paid what you're worth. When I first started out as a tarot card reader, there weren't a lot of us, and it was very specialized training. You couldn't get your tarot cards read online. There was nothing about tarot cards online at all. And online was just starting to exist when I got into it. And I would charge, the going rate for an hour reading was $150, and you would charge at least that, if not more. Now I can't even. I don't even get $5 for a reading on Fiverr. It's because there's like hundreds and hundreds of tarot card readers, and it's really difficult. But that's how the times have changed, and so that's not a good thing. That's not good at all. Same with books. Being a writer, I used to get 50 cents a word, at a magazine back in the 80s. Now, you write a whole article and you get $5. It's crazy. But these are the times, because there's always people that will work for less, and so therefore the bench never goes up, because people don't ask what they're worth, and people will undercut, and this is where we're at. So yeah, so that's my babble. It has nothing to do with Mercury. Maybe it does. So we have to keep our standards high no matter what kind of work we do, but there will always be people to undercut. So with Mercury retrograde, be aware, miscommunications, things get lost. So if you send an email, make sure the person got it before you get all stressed out going, "Oh my God, they hate me, they didn't," they may not have gotten it. It may still be sitting in your outbox. Do I have any thoughts on psychedelic use? From my experiences, these substances open up a window to another place. Um, Well, I personally, here in Canada, we can smoke dope legally now. So, recreational or medical, we just go to the store and buy it like real people. Like it's amazing within my lifetime. It just became legal a couple weeks ago, but that's not a psychedelic. But I will say, I do smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. I prefer it to alcohol. And back before I had children, I did try mushrooms a couple times, and I did try acid a couple times, like in my 20s, and I didn't like acid. Not so much the trip, but how I felt afterwards. It felt really like my brain was breaking. But the mushrooms definitely, even though it's almost the same trip, but it's a gentler. I laugh a lot. Like I'm a giggly person. So when I'm on either of those things, I just laugh. I can't even go anywhere because I'm laughing so hard. Oh, look at the color of the carpet. But definitely, I find when I'm working on first drafts of books and poems and stories or whatever I'm writing, 'cause I am a writer. That's my main gig. I do often do first drafts when I'm high because I do find I'm more relaxed. I'm not second guessing everything. I'm not trying to manipulate. I just free flow and let the fingers, or sometimes I do voice to because now we have these things on the phone where you can say it and it'll print it out almost accurate, not quite. Of course, when you're high, you're just babbling and it's like, what is that? But yeah, I do think there's something to it. Um, I know when I was a kid, I think it was about 18 when the book Altered States came out. And hey, Bannock, how's it going? How's it going? Haven't seen you. Yeah, and so Altered States, I think the book and the movie really opened a lot of people up to the idea of psychedelics. And actually, it's funny, Barefist, that you bring that up because I've been listening to Hair a lot lately in the car and singing along to it. Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you, Bannock. Yeah, I haven't been around. But yeah, so speaking of psychedelics, we're just talking about, psychedelic use and if it opens up windows to other places. I say yes. My short answer is yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. But like I said, I haven't tried any real psychedelics since before I had children, and my oldest son is 31, so DMT. What's DMT? Is that ecstasy? Yeah, I haven't tried any psychedelics either. Yeah, and I've never tried heroin or no, crack, none of that stuff. DMT is the most power. Oh, is that? I think I edited a book for someone. Yeah, the crystal, crack crystal stuff. Yeah, I've never. I'm always curious about all that stuff. Oh, it's released in your brain as you die. Cool. Um, I'm curious about all those things, but I don't want. So many of them sound like horrifically addictive. And where I live right now, I live in an artist co-op, and then there's a lot of housing complexes over, and then about half a mile away, now they have a needle exchange place. So you see these people walking around, and it's you could tell that they probably tried it for fun once, and then now they're all addicted and begging on the streets because they can't keep jobs. And so, you got to be careful with what you try and controlled. Psychedelics are generally counter-addictive. Most people don't feel the need to do more after. Okay. That's like me with acid. It's like I don't care if I ever try it again. I just Yeah, Joe Rogan about DMT. DMT isn't crack. Yeah. No, I know crack is cocaine, I guess. But yeah, a lot of crack addicts around here for sure. People are always asking me if I have it to sell or if I want to buy, and I'm like, no, I'll stick with my marijuana, thanks. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna pull a card for Bannock. Bannock, Bannock. Let's see. And you got the Hanged Man. So Hanged Man, um, yeah, I think you already know a Bannock that I draw my own cards. So the Hanged Man, if you Google it and see a proper Hanged Man, it's a dude hanging from the cross with by one of his feet, and his legs make a four. So it's looking for grounding. It's looking for a firm foundation. Yeah, I've been working on them for a while. I'm no artist, as we can see. But at least I can hold something up now, right? I don't dare try to draw a man hanging. So So the Hanged Man is a card about making decisions. It's like, you're swinging in the wind trying to decide which way to go, which way to what to do, if you should do drugs. No. Don't do drugs, they're bad. Um, so that the Hanged Man, yeah, I can't show the good cards. Um, that's okay. You can Google them and see for yourself. You know, it's the Hanged Man. It's number 12 of the major arcana, so it's a big message card. So it's a card about making decisions, making choices. And the nice thing about the Hanged Man card is that you won't be wrong. So you may be like hanging around trying to figure it out, but the idea is that as long as you're true to your own moral code, you'll make the proper decision you need to make. And the idea is that, you have all these people giving you advice and stuff. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that, whatever. But at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for your own decision because you're the one that has to live with the consequences of whatever it is you had to make the decision about, whether it's, whether to put sugar in your coffee for breakfast or change jobs or, whatever it is you're trying to deal with. Yeah, so it's not a bad card at all. It's a very good card. The only hard part is sometimes we second guess our own choices. You always stick to your moral code. Good. Yes. Yep. So yeah, and the Hanged Man, it's reflective of the whole Christian thing of Christ on the cross and how he sacrificed himself to pay for everyone's sins and all that jazz. So with this card, so with your own personal Hanged Man situation, it's like don't sacrifice who you are in order to please others. That's why, I put in the thing about trusting your own moral code and your own moral judgment, and then you should be fine because you accept your own consequences. So, and in a Mercury retrograde, try not to second. You don't need reverse drawn cards. There's no such thing as a reverse drawn card. No, but yeah. So the Hanged Man it's a good card. Just trying to find footing for grounding to stay there. Yeah. So when the cards are reversed, it's just when I flip them in a spread, they're just upside down. That's all. And when I do spreads, and I talk about it on my course. I have a course on Udemy on how to read tarot cards, and Udemy. So, I talk about how I was trained as a tarot card reader is there's no point in even putting like cards will show up reversed in the spreads if you haven't organized your cards properly before you had your client draw them or you draw them or however you deal with whoever's pulling the cards. And so I'll make a mental note of what's upside down, but I'll flip it right side up because it doesn't. Let's see. Next to the cards, I drop it. See how you do it. Just so I'd head out for dinner. Oh, have a really good time, Bannock. Thank you for coming by. So yeah, now you have to decide what you're going to eat for dinner. No. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good dinner. And yeah, so when you're doing reverse cards, it doesn't really matter because it's how the card is in the spread. So I look at all the cards and where they come from and what's happening, and then you can decipher what the news is whether the card's upside down or not, it doesn't really matter. It's how I was trained. Like I said, I'll make a mental note if something's upside down, but it doesn't really affect what I'm going to say. Yeah, so Mercury retrograde. So if your car is being silly, making noises, or or your battery's not turning over, that's part of Mercury retrograde. So definitely any clang and bang and whatever's happening on your car, take it in as soon as you can because it might be an indicator of something worse because it's Mercury retrograde. Oh, what do you say? Based on the reading for moral codes. How would M and R reflect to your moral code? Yeah. So, yeah, and then, so you figure we're all made of electricity, so Mercury retrograde, that's why the idea is, the communication issues, especially now that we live in such a technological age. Oh, there's the devil again. We live in such a technological age that definitely, it's easy to have miscommunications, things getting lost, misunderstandings, and all these sorts of things. All right, so I'll pull one more card and then I gotta get on with the things because it's 1 o'clock. Um, Let M and I react to your moral code. Ten of Swords. Interesting. So Ten of Swords is if you look at the Rider Waite deck, it's the one with the dude lying on the ground with 10 swords in his back. So they're gonna stab you in the back? Are they gonna feel stabbed in the back? Anyways, the idea with Ten of Swords, swords are the suit of communication, right? The air signs, and it's being stabbed in the back. So the actual story of the Ten of Swords in the Rider Waite deck is the soldier on the battlefield. He got stabbed, 10 swords in the back, but he didn't die, and he's there to see a new day dawning. A new day comes, he pulls out the swords, and he gets on with going back to battle. So yeah, just be be aware of any betrayals, I guess, is the best way to say that. Just be careful, be aware. Um, watch your back, I guess, is the best way to put it. And on that note, I think I'm going to go because it is after 1 now, and I do have to do a bunch of things before I have to be somewhere for 5. So, anyways, thank you everyone for coming by today, and Doug James, I hope you get over your cold. I'm What's tomorrow? Friday. As far as I know, I should be able to be here tomorrow, provided my internet works and all that. Okay, bye. Thank you all for coming by. And yep, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.